Hello and welcome to episode 81 of Thinking Outside the Pod.
81?
81.
One more than 80.
One more than 80. We did it, guys.
Yes.
Quite a few.
We set out to do 81 episodes, so
we're done.
So,
all right. Bye.
So bye.
Going home. Later.
Technically an episode done.
There we
All
go.
right.
Done. 2-second episode.
But
right.
so Patrick couldn't make it today, but Jason's back.
Hello.
He's been absent for the last few episodes, doing other things.
Yeah, mostly
Like
sleeping.
I was
Mostly
gonna say
sleeping, yeah.
Yeah.
It's his usual day off.
Isn't that what
he's
everybody
working.
does on the
My-
weekend?
That's what I try to do, but
That's
then,
what I want to do.
But I got all these responsibilities.
It's my regular hobby. Yeah.
But another thing,
Knitting
it's
is
Jason's
also one of
birthday.
those.
Yay.
Yay.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jason! This
Yep.
is our present to you. You get to be in our be in an episode.
I'm dying. Let's go record a podcast.
Yes.
Exactly. You're 1 year closer to death, and thank you for, that, for taking this
Thank
day.
you for continuing to age.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
That would be scary if you don't.
Well, I just want to collect my Social Security now.
Yes.
Start now.
Finally.
All right, but episode 81. First of all, what I try to do every episode, how was y'all's last week? What, do anything special or get anything that that's interesting enough to talk about?
Metal Gear Solid 5 came out. That's
Okay.
on Tuesday.
Metal Gear Solid 5. How is it? I've
So
not
far,
played any of them.
I unfortunately haven't had much time to play because I've had school and stuff, but I've done like the first couple of missions, and so far it's awesome.
Is
Yeah.
it essentially linear or is it?
Not anymore. It
Okay.
used to be more. I mean, like there was you had like one or two different ways to tackle a problem, but now it's literally you're in a big giant open area. Like the first starting area is Afghanistan, and it's like, all right, here's big giant open world.
Mm-hmm.
Your target is in this area. Go get him.
Is it gone? Are the days where games will not use real places anymore?
No, like I just said, it's in
yeah.
Afghanistan.
Well, I mean, are there any games that are still doing that? Like I know back then it was always just like
random.
made up a stand. They just make up a place.
I think more recently they're starting to use more. Well, I think also there's technical limitations and stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, like you start to see like all the Grand Theft Autos, like they call them fake places,
Mm-hmm.
but you look at it and you're like, okay, that's clear. You're
Yeah.
like, Los Santos, it's Los Angeles.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you're like,
Okay. Yeah, that's
hey,
true.
Liberty City, it's New York.
Yeah,
It's,
it's
they have they
it's-
have
you
like
have all the
Yeah,
landmarks
Vice City
that are,
being
like, kinda
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's good, I guess. I mean, do you see that ever changing back with like political correctness and stuff?
I think it depends on the genre. Maybe. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're going for a little bit more realism, I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those of when they say Afghanistan, you're like, okay, that makes more sense. I mean, and instead of it just being like, oh, we're fighting some random private military or whatever, we're like, no, we're fighting Russian Soviets.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, thank you for actually.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I know who those people are. Like, okay.
All right, but have you played any Metal Gear Solid games?
No Metal Gear Solid for me. At this point, I'm too afraid to ask what it is.
They're just
Mad Max though.
games.
Mad
Crazy.
Max is really good though.
Mad Max. You were
September
talking about
1st,
that.
guys.
You were talking that it's an open world, which is
Yeah,
like
open world in Australia.
apocalyptic
Yeah.
open world. I'm like that. That's me written all
That's
over
like
it. So I
every
should.
game nowadays is
I mean,
post-apocalyptic open world.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've never been to Australia, so it could be a made-up place, and they're just using it
This
as like a.
kangaroo land.
They're just using it as
kangaroos?
like fantasy licensing.
Are there kangaroos there?
No, there are
Well,
no
it's
kangaroos.
post-apocalyptic. I think kangaroos would probably be kind of
No.
screwed.
Well, what was that?
I
one
mean, they
movie?
tried to eat
Tank
my-
Girl?
They tried to eat my dog,
mutated?
so if there are any kangaroos, I'm assuming they ate them already.
A baby ate my dingo.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, my baby ate the dingo.
I ate my baby.
A dingo watched from the hillside.
A dingo's eating me.
What was that? Tropic Thunder? He's like, that's a true story. A woman lost her baby.
Yeah,
Stop making fun of it.
but yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Fast cars, brutal combat, and lots of gasoline.
Did you see the new Mad Max movie?
I did not see the new Mad Max movie.
No? All right. Well, I
It's
did.
coming
It's
out
good.
on DVD and Blu-ray and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
soon.
so
soon.
I may catch it then.
So
Yeah.
Mad Max marathon, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I've never seen any of the original three. I saw part of the first one, and then I fell asleep because I started watching it like at 3 a.m. But
well, when the new one
like-
comes out, we'll have a Mad Max movie marathon.
Yay.
yeah. Well, I mean, I
We'll-
have
we'll-
the
we'll
new
do
one
it.
We'll
already.
deck out our cars and we'll.
I have all four of them.
We'll
we can watch it.
we'll stream it. We'll
can watch
stream.
it later today if
We'll
we
stream the Mad Max marathon.
And that's when we get
on
arrested.
Periscope. We'll just
Yeah.
just so next time
We'll
we'll
get
just
a-
stream us like on a computer or on a DVD.
We'll be getting a phone call from Mel Gibson.
Oh no. He's just crazy enough to do that, to go
He's
after.
just watching our podcast. We're like, really? We're
Yeah,
like, why are
he
you
just-
watching our podcast?
Hey, you
He's
said
like, just
my,
in case.
you said my name.
Yeah,
You owe me
he,
some
like,
money
he-
now.
He's like doing something crazy, and he just like perks up, and he's like,
Was-
"Someone just said my name on a podcast. I better check this out." Oh no, Mel
Like
Gibson.
how bad is it for him that you assume that Mel Gibson is doing something crazy at any given time of day?
That's all he's doing in the news is crazy. Like every time you hear, I mean, I haven't heard of his name in a while, but anytime you hear it,
I
it's
think
like
he's
like
kind of gone.
saying like some racist remarks to some photographer and stuff like that,
Or
or
just something anti-Semitic.
yeah, just
Yeah.
so I don't
Like,
know.
Hey, can I get a picture of you? Shut up, you.
I think it's
And
pretty
then-
safe to assume he's doing something crazy. I think. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I don't go
I
see
guess
Mel
there's
Gibson
I guess there's a good percentage of a chance that he's doing something crazy.
Yeah, something crazy. Anything's crazy.
It's on
to
the high
someone.
end.
He's like, I'm donating to charity. I'm volunteering my time to help these orphans.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh, it's so
You're
crazy.
so crazy.
How dare you?
And Mel Gibson
Be
burns
nice.
down an orphanage.
Oh no.
Oh,
Like in his mind, he's helping them. He's like, yes, they're cold. I need to warm them up. Oh,
jeez.
sorry.
Okay, we're getting
It's-
way too dark.
All right. So,
All right,
but
Jared.
Mad Max. So, is it Tom Hardy? Are you Tom Hardy, or are you?
I
just
think
a-
it's more original.
Can you make your own
Mad
character?
Max. No, you
Ooh.
essentially you're Max, but you can change like what his face looks like.
Oh, well then, yes.
Well,
And
like-
that's,
Well,
that's
you're still the
no,
same
you-
character.
You,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
still
well, I
essentially
like-
have the same template, but they're like, oh, you can have a beard now,
Oh,
or you can have a longer beard.
oh, well,
Yes.
that's well. I mean, I
or you
like.
can put some paint on your face or something.
I've always liked character
but like
creation.
the, but like the
Skyrim
general
thing and
like
stuff.
the general face is the same. Like
Boo.
that never changes. But
I don't like that.
I mean, it's not. It's a Mad Max game. It's not a game set in the Mad.
That's
it's
true.
not just set in the Mad Max universe.
You can be someone not Max. Dang
yeah,
it.
you
Mad
can just be
Maxine.
like a, Furiosa or something.
Yeah. Could you be
Maybe
her?
it's a
Do you,
point.
no, I do you? Is it the story? Well, you don't know the story. What's the story? There's not. It's an open world, or there is. But
well,
there's
the
side quests.
opening mission is the original car from the series. The
Mm-hmm.
it's like a V8 supercharger. You're basically you lose the car and it gets
Mm-hmm.
turned to scrap.
Okay.
So the game just basically has you building a new car
Uh-huh.
called the Magnum Opus.
Okay.
And so that's what the entire game is you're just going through, like, gaining the trust of rulers and areas around in the desert.
For car
And-
parts.
Yeah, for car parts, for just like sanctuary, that sort of thing.
You were also saying you actually use gasoline and you have
Yeah,
to
you
drink
have to use
water.
gasoline. You drink water to regain health, and those
Yeah,
are
It's pretty
finite resources.
cool. I don't know.
So
Yeah. Maybe.
it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'll watch you play it and see if I want to play
yeah,
it.
it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Let's see. So
Moving on here.
Nothing happened in my week. So all right.
Boring, Jimmy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
So let's see. What would be the first thing? I guess the big thing, the Star Wars toys
yes.
came out just recently. When was it? It was
Friday.
We're recording this on Sunday, so yeah, just a couple days ago.
Yes.
Star
Wars Friday. Yeah.
Yes, a Force Friday. That's
Force
right.
Friday, that's
yeah,
it,
that was
yeah.
in all the news.
It sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Force Friday.
Yeah,
What?
Well, I think it's a Star Wars. I think
Well,
it's
they
a sanctioned
did it.
event.
They'll
It's
sue
not a.
themselves.
it just doesn't sound right.
It's not like some local store just randomly did it.
Yeah. But yeah, so all the toys came out, and like there was people lining up. I saw like news stories where there were like people dressed as like Jedis doing lightsaber fights in the
Sure.
parking lots and stuff.
Sounds like a normal
Yeah.
midnight release of stuff.
normal
yeah.
convention.
Yeah.
Normal Star Wars fans.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so a bunch of toys.
Oh,
and-
is it weird that we're just like, yeah, that's pretty normal? You
Yeah,
know?
just people in a parking lot fighting with
You're
lightsabers.
just like, yeah, no,
Yeah, so-
that's like I haven't dressed up, but yeah, I've waited in line for crap like that before, so I know what it's like. But
Yeah, you were saying that it didn't turn out well.
that's
or,
what I read online. I didn't go. I used to collect Star Wars toys as a kid. Just
Mhm.
now, I'm just like
Too damn
No,
expensive now.
No, it's not that they're too. I actually have money. I can collect stuff. It's just
It was too expensive when I did it.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
I
too,
didn't have money.
it's too expensive when I didn't because I didn't have any money at the time. So it's always, Mom, can you buy me this? You know, I want this. I want
You
this
mean
one.
to tell me when you were 5 you didn't have an IRA?
Oh man, I totally had an IRA. I had
You're not,
4
you
IRAs.
didn't. I just
Did you
didn't have
li-
any income to put
Yeah.
into them.
Did you lose it? Like the economic collapse
I
of
bought
'98?
Star Wars toys.
In the .com
And Star-
bubble
and
burst,
Star
Pokemon
Wars
cards. What do
futures.
you think that- it's like-
everything I got, I put into Pokemon cards.
but there's an article on Kotaku saying that they're just so understocked, and so that like he was like I think like the 5th or 6th person in line, and there was like nothing left.
Yeah, I heard
Oh,
that there
geez.
wasn't like in a bunch of stores that weren't like buying limits, so people were buying like 10 of something.
Yeah.
So that probably,
That drives me nuts. 'Cause
that
you're like,
probably-
that's what I
yeah.
hate with this collectible stuff when a store doesn't put like a buying limit. It's like one of each is what I think every store should. I think that should be like a standard policy for a
Yeah.
brand new item,
yeah,
especially something like that. Because that was something that they started doing with like the amiibos and stuff. They started saying you can buy one,
yeah,
or
yeah.
one of each, but you can only buy one. So
Yeah,
you don't
that
get
makes sense.
one guy buying all of them and then turning around to the guy next to him saying
yeah.
$40, bitch.
Yeah,
And you're like,
double
damn
the
it.
price. Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
just
that's-
upcharge them.
that's
yeah.
probably what they're doing. Like they buy 10, and then you see 8 of them on eBay like
Yep.
the next day or that day. Probably like in the parking lot, he's already like posted them to his eBay thing because.
Or he's just going to the back to the people in line saying, "All right, who wants this?"
Yeah.
You're like, I do, $50.
Or people
bucks.
like
Yeah, yeah.
he just like waits for like a dejected Jedi walking out the store and be like, "Oh, do you want this Kylo Ren?"
Yeah.
Like, here, pay me $50 more than the sticker price.
Yeah.
So I guess since
And
we
then the
haven't
guy
done it,
tries to hit him with a lightsaber, and it's just a piece of plastic hitting him, and he's like, "That
It's
doesn't
not
work."
going to work.
Yeah, Jimmy, the rebirth of Stop That. It's like, scalpers, stop
Yeah.
it, you assholes. We
Yeah,
hate you. You
it's-
ruin collecting for everybody else, you jerks.
Yeah, I guess I don't
Maybe
really
they're
collect.
not so much hoarders. They're just, or not collectors, but they're hoarders now.
Well,
they're
maybe.
they're just
I
hoarding
would say some
collectible
of them-
items.
See, I'm a hoarder, but I just buy my one. And
Yeah.
then I don't open it. I just go, okay, goes
have
up on
it,
my
yeah.
shelf next to
Well,
it.
no,
just
maybe
'cause I
that's
can.
what they should be categorized now. People that buy more than one.
Well,
should
I,
be
I don't buy more
categorized
than
as
one,
hoarders.
I'm sure that the people that a percentage of the people that are buying like 10 of one thing, I'd say some of them are hoarders. They just want 10 to have. But I would say a lot of them are scalpers. I would say that's
I'd say the majority of the huge majority of them are probably scalpers.
yeah. They see all the media coverage and all the hype around this stuff, and they're like, people will buy this. Parents will want to buy this for their kids, and
Yeah.
they'll not see them at the store, so they'll go to my eBay page because I have 8 of them for a little bit less than like triple what the store has.
Yeah.
So
Because it's really like I didn't really look up too many of the toys. The one that I did see was what was it? The little new R2 the ball R2D2
BB-8.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
DD8.
BB.
BB. What the stupid ball
Get it
robot with the
right.
head. Whatever the hell it's called.
Well,
I haven't been
actually-
following it. I'm just waiting for
Yeah.
the new Star Wars movie, and
Yeah.
then I may actually start researching it.
Yeah.
But like the little toy, I mean, it was just a little ball. I mean, unfortunately, a stupid thing cost like $150. So I was
Yeah,
like,
that's what I
I'm like, I
heard.
could afford it, but I'm like, do I want it that badly? I'm
Yeah.
like, not that badly.
It's really cool though. Like,
I want to love it. If it were bigger
it'd be
and it
better.
cost the same, I'd been like done.
Yeah.
If it was
Like
like,
if
the
it
size
was
of like a
if
soccer
it was
ball.
the scale of the movie one.
Oh, if it was to scale, I'd be like,
That-
even if it was like 200, maybe 300, I'd be like, oh, I am
Yeah.
so tempted to buy this stupid
That would be
thing.
cool. But
like
yeah,
attach
so
a little tray to it, like go get me a drink.
and then the tray falls
Yeah.
over as his head
It's
falls
like,
back.
It's like I can barely balance anyway. You jerk! I can. How dare you put this much Mountain Dew on me? But yeah, so it's made by Sphero, which I mean they've been out for a while.
I guess.
a while,
I've never
a
heard
few
of them.
years, but it's essentially it's just an RC ball.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're known for. Like they have like omnidirectional wheels and stuff inside. So it was like perfect. They just put like I saw the
It's like a little magnet, and it's got wheels on the bottom of it, so,
So
it
it can-
stays to the attached to this. To what there's like I think like a magnet under it, and then the head just kind of follows. it as it goes along.
there's an uncracking video where a guy actually like opens it up, like saws it open and sees
Yeah.
what's inside.
Yeah,
And
because it's a sealed ball. It's not one where you can unscrew it. It's
Yeah.
literally a sealed ball. So
Yeah.
it's like
I
nothing's
bet that
supposed to
guy
get in
bought
it.
more than one.
yeah, I would.
Oh, I would
well,
assume so.
Yeah, I mean those kind of videos, those unboxing and like uncracking and taking apart videos. Like
I mean,
it's-
sometimes they get a promotional one just to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I don't
like-
know if they have to send it back. I mean, sometimes they have to send them back.
Yeah, maybe.
It depends on what it is.
You can't really do much with it, like because he like sawed open the ball. Like I guess you can like tape it, but
I mean that one that's
like,
probably that's definitely one that they gave unless toy companies are like, hey, destroy our toy, so make a video out of it. You're like, all right.
Whatever.
But like with a lot of the toys that they come out with, like as promotional items, they sometimes give away what they're promoting. And I've heard that some of these figures actually like speak lines from the film. And they started giving away like little plot points.
Yeah, that's what there's this I forgot what the video is called or the channel on YouTube is called, like Emergency Awesome or something like that, where he does like trailer breakdowns and stuff. And he got a hold of some of those toys or the audio files or something, and he was going through them and he was saying like this essentially those toys is like another or like another trailer. For the film. So he was going to say some people are thinking that they're going to release a trailer as well on Friday. That there was a rumor about it, but he was like, not really. The toys are the trailer because you can glean some stuff from it, like
because you get the little blurbs on the back of the boxes and stuff, and that'll give away a little bit. It's not going to give away a lot, but there's probably if you search through it and you try to put everything in context of everything else, it might add a little bit more.
And I mean, considering everything, they've kept it wrapped up pretty well.
Fairly well.
Force Awakens has been pretty hush hush about it.
Yeah, which is good. I don't like going to, or I don't like, sometimes I actively seek it out, but I don't like knowing what's going to happen on a movie, especially nowadays. Like in the past, I think I was a lot more interested in that kind of stuff, but then it like would just ruin the movie. Like why would you want to ruin the cinematic experience
at the exact point where it's like the plot twist happens? You're like, oh, okay. Or you're like, I know what's coming.
Yeah, like you see that character and it's like, I heard like later on in the movie he's going to kill that person that's supposed to be his friend. Like, oh crap. Like it's going to be a lot better if you watch it in the movie than you are just reading it in a Reddit post or something like that. So I try not to get too excited about movies. Like, yes, the trailers are all cool, but I'm kind of just like tempering my
movie's
excitement.
Gonna suck. All movies are gonna suck. So then I'm just pleasantly surprised when I go watch them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I don't try to expect anything from it because what movie was I can't remember. I did it to some movie, and then I watched it, and I'm like, all right, that ruined it. I think it was like Avengers or something like that. One of those types of movies where like they were like, oh, Avengers is going to team up.
They're really excited for it, and then when it happened, it was like, oh.
Read everything I could about it, and then like it just didn't live up to my... I mean, it was a good movie. It was a great movie, but it just didn't live up to my excitement level that I had like thought up in my head that it was going to be. So I try not to go too deep into it.
I mean, for me, it's very few movies that I get excited for. Like Star Wars, I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of curious to see what they do. Like, I'm hoping it branches off into its own thing instead of trying to rely on the previous 6 movies. I mean, make some nods to it, make it enough to where we're like, okay, yes, it's the same universe, but please just go way the hell a different direction.
I think
I'd be like, all right, say Han Solo just for connection's sake, and then ditch Han Solo for episode 8 or whatever, and then go off, don't keep bringing him back every movie.
I think that's what they're gonna do. Like how they do it with how J.J. Abrams did it with Star Trek.
Well, that was one of the original rumors, I think, that Harrison Ford was only in one of the films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's just in this one, and that something bad.
I hope just enough
to
just to get the older people in. They're like, I know who
like,
Han Solo
is.
Yeah, and the kids
like,
may know
okay, time to move on. Like all you people that watch the originals need to grow up and give this away.
They kind of have to. I mean, those actors and actresses are getting really old, so they can't put them in too much other stuff unless they will go the route of like Terminator with like CG and stuff where they have that. But even that's like, why do it? Because all the just make it new. Like I was saying, Star Trek, they threw Leonard Nimoy in it. Was he in the second new one?
Yes, he was.
Star Trek Beyond? Was he?
Oh, no, he was in Into Darkness. He was in there at the very... Yeah, he was in there towards the end.
Was he? Okay.
Yes.
But he wasn't major to it because I don't remember.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a major point in there.
He was a major one in the first one.
But he had like maybe 3 or 4 lines.
Okay, yeah. So
he was there.
So, but he barely.
But he won't be in.
Yeah. So
the new one.
You kind of
unfortunately.
Can't be. I mean,
I wish he was.
The magic of holographic CGI.
But yeah. So like they did in the first Star Trek, they had Leonard Nimoy in there and like a big legacy character like that, bring in all the old fans of the Star Trek universe. And then the second one they lessened it. So I think that's what, and it's J.J. Abrams again, so I'm sure that's gonna be the goal.
J.J. Abrams is just cornering the market.
Good. I'm glad a
science
fan
fiction
is doing it, not like
space
Michael
operas.
Bay.
Well, I just have to hope he keeps
just
the
wait
lens
for
flares down this
Transformers
time.
in space.
Yeah, he did. Well, he did keep it down in the second one, or was he?
It was still they were still there, but it at least wasn't like as bad.
Oh, for the second Star Trek?
yeah.
Did he?
There
Oh,
was
Well,
still
I think
lens
that's
flares.
the one thing that kind of backfired on him
mhm,
is that everybody knew what was coming,
mhm.
and that when it happened, J.J. Abrams and the whole studio just adamantly denied Khan's existence
Oh,
in this movie.
well, yeah, they don't.
But then they're like, no, that's not him. And then when it happens, like, yeah, it was. It's like, yeah, everybody knew it.
Well, I didn't know it. I thought it was just a brand new villain, and I was like, oh, it could be Khan or whatever. But when it happened in the movie, I was like, oh, I was genuinely surprised. I think it's
No,
good that he didn't ruin the surprise. Why? I mean, even if it was gonna like for sure gonna happen, like why would a filmmaker want to get rid of his like?
Well, I mean, it was
thing.
just a thing of that he denied it, but it sort of backfired on him in the end.
Really?
That everybody going into it knew that Khan was
I didn't know.
part of it.
I didn't know.
The majority of
A
people,
bunch
knew
of
it was
nerds,
Khan.
baby, knew.
Nerds.
I'm glad that they think it backfired.
See, I've never been a big Star Trek guy, so I mean stuff like that. I'm like, whoosh.
Yeah.
All right, I just watch it just because I'm like everybody's watching this. All right,
Mhm.
I'll watch it. Why not?
Yeah, I like Star Trek more than Star Wars right now, just because there's way more content for Star Trek. I've said that multiple times. I like
Well,
the
that's
Star Wars
because-
universe.
You wait till 2 years from now when there's 4 million Star Wars.
I know,
movies.
that's
They're
the
putting
thing.
them
Well,
out
that's
every
a-
half
that's the
year.
I'd
thing.
say that's the problem is because Disney butchered the entire Star Wars EU,
Yeah.
Well,
and it's like, oh, take these 15 or 30 years worth of content and just gut it.
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean,
Like you've essentially killed your lore down to 6 movies.
for sure. Was it always canon? Did Lucas
Yes.
say it was always
it was
canon?
official canon.
Yeah.
All
He
the
actually
books?
said he gave it the thumbs up for
Okay.
canonizing it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
And then
then
Disney took over and said, nope,
no.
not canon. Only
Well-
the movies are canon, and anything else we create is canon.
didn't really affect me because I never.
Which
never,
surprises
I never
me.
knew much of it.
I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's one of those of if they didn't do it,
Like they
They'd
want
have
to
to-
wash
would
their
have to.
they want their hands of it. They
Yeah,
want to be like,
and that
okay,
makes
this
sense.
is our universe
Because
now.
when you think of it, yeah, if you're gonna have a new, or if you're gonna take an existing property, you kind of want to be able to build it on your own and not
Yeah.
have to sit there and read 400 books and stuff to figure out.
But there's
It's like, oh,
just
crap, I
so
have to-
much good content, though.
Well, I mean, there could be
Well, you're
might be
right.
so much more good content. I mean, that content still exists. Just because it's not part of the canon anymore doesn't
See,
make
and now
it not.
what we do is what we can do is instead of saying it's canon, it's now like the alternate, like the multi-universe theory. Is
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Disney took Star Wars and just said, okay, we just move it over one universe and then go that way.
Mhm.
Then you have the alternate, now instead of extended universe, it's now alternate universe.
Yeah, it's
So you can have 2 lines of canon. They're like this is the official official canon, and this is the unofficial canon.
like exactly how Star Trek did it. Like the first movie, they're like, this is an alternate timeline. The first 15 minutes, like something happened and it changed timeline. So that other stuff still existed. All the other movies and First Generation and Voyager all existed, but not in this timeline because of this one event that changed it. So just another.
So I mean that's
cue
a way to
that
look at it now. So
Star
you're
Wars will
technically
take
it's still quote unquote canon, but it's
Mhm.
just not official
Yeah.
merchandise canon anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, yeah, I'd say it is time for these franchises to sort of pass the torch on to
Yeah.
the next generation of audiences and actors.
And that's why they gotta
Give the
redo it.
nods.
They gotta retcon all the stuff, and they gotta just move on to and do a different way.
Which I mean, it's crazy to speculate like who's going to take over for Schwarzenegger as the Terminator
Mm-hmm.
if they revive that. Who's going to be the next Terminator?
Justin Bieber.
And I've heard that
I just made Jimmy cringe. He's like, oh god.
Oh.
we really have to kill this guy.
It's like I'll be back. Boom, just get shot in the
Even-
head. It's like no, you won't. No,
even-
you won't.
Even if he turns out to be like a Terminator with a heart of gold or something, it's like, no, we got to kill this guy. His face just makes me want to shoot it with a shotgun.
And I think
Is that a woman Terminator? It's like no, it's not. Are you sure?
I think I've heard rumors before about giving Indiana Jones another character.
Yeah,
Another
they
actor
were
coming in
saying-
and filling in for Indiana Jones.
They were saying Chris Pratt, but I think he denied it or said no.
I say he's
Not
already
gonna happen.
he's got too many roles already. You know, at the
Well,
way he's going.
I mean, they tried to do kind of that in the last Indiana Jones
with,
movie
Shia
with
LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. They,
But, I mean, he
like,
kind of went off the deep end.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. But or
he's now making YouTube videos in front of chroma keys.
green screen, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that supposed to be? I could never figure out
It
exactly.
was for a college or something.
like it was like he was.
Was it like acting? I mean, was it like a audition or something?
I think it was like there's a bunch of characters that he did in front of the green screen. Like there's like the famous one that got all over the
That's the
internet was
only
the
one
Just
I've
Do It,
seen.
and there's other ones where he did actual like monologues in front of the green screen. I think it was just like an acting type class.
Oh, okay.
Like he was in front of a class doing stuff in front of a green screen to I don't know maybe a lesson or something. I don't know exactly.
Oh, okay.
It just-
I'll
I don't know
maybe
exactly
look
what
it
it
up a little
was,
bit
but-
more
we
then.
just throw him in the same category as Mel Gibson. Like we just assume he's off the rails,
doing something crazy.
doing something crazy.
Or he's with Mel Gibson doing.
Well, I know.
their
Well, I mean, it's like
craziness
'cause
together.
the last thing I remember seeing this was
They're
like
writing the
a
next
while ago.
Transformers.
Oh no.
But there's like the video of like they're like because like out in California they have lane sharing on motorcycles is actually completely legal.
Mhm.
You can do that. And a motorcycle went by and I guess Shia LaBeouf like drove up to him and like gave him like the nastiest look. It's like
It's
I'm
legal.
following the law. This
Yeah.
is totally legal in California. You know, you're like I can't. You can lane share on motorcycles and you know, I'm not sure if it's everywhere in California, but in some cities, yes, you can lane share
Mhm.
in motorcycles. I mean, of course, you can't do it in a car because you can't
Yeah.
fit cars in between cars. But yeah, motorcycles, yeah. I mean,
Well,
you
with
can
that
totally go
attitude, you
through
can't
traffic.
do it.
Yeah. I could do it if I really tried.
So you gotta be careful for the one out-of-state guy who decides to open his door and
Yeah.
close
Oh,
on
no.
you. And you're like, oh, you jerk! And it's like, oh, you just lost your door. You know.
If y'all got super famous, do you think you'd change?
Yes.
I guess you'd say well, okay, maybe not. I was gonna say I guess you'd say no, but would you really?
You had that one. You had that one
What-
loaded,
the
ready
way
to
I
go.
would change
Fisher would Shia LaBeouf it up.
No, the way I would change probably is that it's like, okay, like I have money now.
Mhm.
So like anything I ever thought, you know, everything I second guessed buying, I'd just be like, buy.
Bye. Yeah.
Buy,
Okay.
buy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that myself.
Because
as well.
I'd be the one, like, I'd still probably be the same guy, but I'd be like, I'd have like a small, crappy apartment and like one room is just full of like shit. It's just like so much crap. I'm like, my entire wall is full of amiibos.
You'd like
Yeah.
buy like the apartment next
So-
door to you as well. Just like
yeah, it's like
that's my
that's my video game apartment over there, and they're like, what?
that'd be
I have
No.
an
pretty
entire
cool.
apartment dedicated to a PlayStation. It's just all it is. It's just a big ass TV on the wall, with a PlayStation in the middle of the room. That's
No.
it, and a
No.
beanbag chair, or
A
something.
fridge.
Are we
Fridge in
talking rich and famous or just rich?
Okay, well that's another thing. Like if you were, well, yeah, I was saying like rich and famous, like us, like Mel Gibson or like Shia LaBeouf or Lindsay Lohan, like all the people.
Well,
all
it
the-
wouldn't be Lindsay Lohan because that doesn't sound very fun. Being
I don't
you know,
feel like doing
drugs
coke
and partying
today.
I
all
know,
the
but
time.
like the things with child stars.
Not all the time though. Some of the time.
the things with child stars is because like the reason why a lot of them go off the rails like almost like day and night is because like I think it's like child actors don't get like they only get a small percentage of their money and the rest of it goes into like a trust fund or whatever the equivalent is, a bank account, whatever. And then like on their like 18th birthday they get access to it all.
Yeah.
So
And
like
then they just go
like
nuts.
day one they're one day they're this and the other day they're like they're so rich, like so they just go crazy and just do. That's what you hear all the time.
So essentially, if we woke up tomorrow and realized that
you had
like our
$1
faces
billion
were famous,
See,
or
but for
something,
me,
and
though-
you were famous. Yeah.
I'd be a boring billionaire. I'd just go like Steam. You're like, what games can I buy? All of Steam, all of Steam.
Add-
Control A.
They just
add
look and they're
everything
like,
to
you're like
Steam.
your stupid Steam list is like 400,000 games. Like, am I gonna play any of these? Nope. But I bought
but I
them all.
have the option to though.
I think I would be a boring billionaire as well. Because even now I don't go out, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would still not go out, but even less now.
I
Yeah,
mean,
because it's like
what-
now I'm gonna enjoy going out less because now people are gonna be like, I know who you are. It's like I don't
Yeah,
want. I just want to sit
yeah.
at home and play video games.
I mean, one thing I've always been adamant about is that I think I'd disappear for a while.
That's I would disappear as well. Like because especially if I
Just
had a
sorta.
lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't see myself working, even though that sounds so weird to me because I'd be so bored all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'd
I've been-
have money and I'd have like I'd buy my own movie theater, like IMAX screen, like just why not, and just watch anything on Futurama on it or something, like on an IMAX screen.
I've been off work for the past few days, and I'm just kind of like, what am I doing?
Oh, I know. That's when I have like a week off. I'm just like, what do I do with myself? I'm like,
I guess I can go get some
food.
That
Guess.
sucks.
But that means I have to leave.
Being to adults, it sucks. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, when you don't have work, you're like, what do I do?
Like, what did I do when I was younger and I wanted
Nothing.
time off?
I
Like,
guess it just means like we're just so indoctrinated to working that 40 plus hours a week.
yeah, I mean, it
That
just
when we're
fills
not doing it,
fills
we're
our
just like,
time.
this is not like
It's
we're
sad.
going on vacation and feel guilty about leaving work.
Yeah.
Like, man, this is messed up.
You're like, I bet the station's falling apart. You're like, oh god, there's probably a fire on one of the cameras. Like, oh god,
You come in, it's like, oh, we were partying this whole last week. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Like, oh,
damn it. That's what always happens to me. Whenever I take any time off, like that's when all the big shit happens.
the cool
They're like-
stuff happens.
So I come back and I'm like, all these changes happen. I gotta figure out what the hell happened.
So while I was bored on vacation, y'all were having fun at work. That's ridiculous.
like, damn it.
But yeah, I if I had enough money where I didn't have to work, I would rarely leave my place. And I would buy every. I would. Well, yeah, probably.
Me, I would still work.
That's.
I would.
So
But if you had enough money where you you're like any type of stress, you'd be like, why am I doing this?
Oh, I probably wouldn't work a lot. I'd still work. I need to go do something.
like
you know?
I'd probably still do this podcast.
I'd go ahead and go get my master's, you know. Since
I wouldn't do that. I would not.
No, I think I'd still.
You
I
could
think
buy
I'd
your
go to.
masters.
Well,
Like,
well, no, I think.
cool.
I think
if you
I,
wanted to make a film, you can make any film you want.
well,
you
no,
just
I think
write a
I'd still.
check.
I think I'd still go to college just because I wouldn't have the stress of knowing I'm going to have to pay for it.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. If you wanted a skill, like if you wanted to attain a skill, I could see that. Maybe. But if you're rich enough, I would just pay someone to do it. Like I'm like I don't know how to direct a movie right now, but if I was rich enough, I would direct a movie.
You're like, I know how to direct a movie now. You're like,
oh, there's a problem. I will throw money at it until it's fixed. Like I have like
Wow.
that much money, but maybe
and
that
that's
much.
how you get.
Well, if you guys.
Exactly. Then I'd be
if
back
you guys
here
Were,
that
if you
next
guys were,
Tuesday.
If you guys were billionaires, would you throw money at an Iron Giant sequel?
I really liked Iron Giant. Like, yeah, so Vin Diesel, I guess, dropped a.
Don't acknowledge the segue. Just roll with it.
You ruined it. I was gonna.
See, I'm trying to remember Iron Giant, the old animated movie with the big giant.
Yeah, the little
Iron
kid,
giant robot.
the
And
little kid with a really
Little kid,
weird name.
his last name was Hughes, which is an amazing last
His
name.
first name was Hogarth.
Hogarth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Such a weird name.
And his mom's name was
Did his mom hate him?
Anne, which was my grandma's name, Anne Hughes.
Did his mom hate the kid?
No.
Yes.
Did she?
No, I don't know.
No, she didn't. She didn't hate the kid.
Well, she obviously must have some disdain for him to call him Hogarth.
Oh, I see. I don't know. It was a family name. Why? She's honoring her dad that fought in the war. How do you know? You don't know.
Call someone
maybe
Why the
Hogarth.
hell is he named Hogarth? His parents must have hated him too.
At some point in the
There's
ancestry,
somebody
It
someone-
is just
They
a
called him
perpetual line
Hogarth.
of hate.
yeah,
It
exactly.
just goes to the point where we're like, why the hell are we calling people Hogarth? Like, hell if I know. There's just a million Hogarths in our
Or maybe the
family.
big plot twist is that's his first and middle name. So his first name is Ho, and his middle
Garth.
name is Garth.
Can I just go by Garth, Mom? No,
No.
No Ho.
Garth. Can you at
No
least
Ho.
not put so much emphasis on my first name? Nope.
No Ho.
But yeah, I really liked, and like like for its time, it was a really
Yeah,
good
I
animated movie.
I
Like
enjoyed it
one
quite
guy
a bit.
animated that, I think, or something like that.
Really?
Something crazy. I don't know if it was that, but I remember the story, like hearing that it was like one guy did most of the work. Like
Yeah.
90% of the animation was one guy doing it, and it was really good. Like I haven't
Yeah,
watched
it's
it in a
easily one
while.
of the best animated films.
Yeah.
See, but that's one of those. If I'm kind of curious of why Iron Giant, because it didn't really make a big enough of a splash, and it's one of those
Yeah.
of why remake that? You know, what would make you think that's
Well, we're just in the age of nostalgia, though. A
Well, I
lot of things
guess.
are
Well,
getting sequels and things
but,
that
like,
shouldn't be getting sequels.
probably go around to a whole bunch of people about our age and see how many people actually remember Iron Giant. I
Yeah,
don't think there'd be
like-
a lot.
Like in the last week, did you ever think about Iron Giant? And I would say the majority of people would say no.
No.
Like unless
Yeah.
they're like.
Well, I
following
didn't
the
even
story
know
or
Vin
anything.
Diesel did the voice of Iron
Yeah,
Giant
he-
in the movie.
He said the one line, like he's the
Superman.
yeah, he did the one line that Iron Giant did, and that
Honoring
it
the
was
greatest
brought up
hero of all
again
time,
whenever
Superman.
Because how long
whenever
ago
he
was
did
it
Guardians
made?
of the Galaxy.
It was what, probably early 2000s? or mid?
Oh, I think it was before that.
I would say late 90s.
Was
but
it really
but
late 90s?
There's so many things that I think about like that happened like way long ago that happened in like 2005 or
I was
something like
gonna say,
that. It very well could have been.
I don't think
don't
it was
know.
that early. I don't think it. I don't. Yeah, computer.
Look it
Okay,
up.
he's looking it
Are you
up.
looking
Yeah.
up?
I would have a hard time believing it was in the 90s. I think it'd have to be early 2000s.
I would say
1999.
yeah,
Really?
late 90s. That's
Damn.
I win.
I know. Okay. Wow.
Hey, it's got
I was
hey,
close. I said early 2000s, so at least I wasn't too far off.
hey, it's got a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes, so that warrants a sequel.
Well,
Well,
but
like I said,
99. That's 17 or 16 years ago, or whatever it is.
Yeah, but I mean, anything above like a 95 should be like, all right, you get a sequel.
Well,
because I mean, it's like it was a good movie from what I remember of it. It's just it was made so long ago that it's like, it's another one of those. Who is this being made for? Really,
that's
it's
a
one
big
of those
thing.
of it's the hard thing of who do you make it for? Do you make it for the people who might actually remember this, which there's probably not that many people.
So is it? You think it's just Vin Diesel saying, "I want to make a sequel," and nobody else like wants to talk to him about it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think there's been iron confirmation about it.
Aha! Lame.
Oh, no.
Does Vin Diesel call somebody?
You
He's like,
lose now.
I want to make an Iron Giant sequel. A sequel to what?
What the hell is that?
Google it.
Now.
It's like making a
it's got
sequel to
98%
like
on
making
Rotten
a sequel to
Tomatoes.
like Star Kid or something. It's like, what the hell is Star Kid?
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it when I was young. I don't think I'd go see it now when I was in theaters. I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't have that excuse to go see it in theaters. So I might see it like.
I generally just don't go see animated films in theaters.
Yeah, I think I'm too.
Oh, I do.
I'm
I
getting,
love seeing them in theaters.
I almost went and saw
Like,
the
if I
new
was-
Dragon Ball Z movie in
I
theaters.
totally saw that first day it came out.
Yeah.
Of course, that was the day they asked me to come in to work on like my day off. I was like, damn it! I was like, but I was
Goku's got to kick Frieza's ass really quick. Hold on.
I'm like, all right, let me. I'll come in, and then I gotta leave, and then I'll come back. And they're like, okay, fine. I was like, all right, compromise.
I think that's a bit different. I like seeing like a Pixar, like the Disney animated movies. Going to see it by myself is feels weird to me.
Oh, I'll do it.
Like,
I'm like, sure. I'll sit there with all the little kids, and be like, yeah, let's watch this.
All right, Jared.
I don't know. I feel weird. I feel weird about it.
I watched Big Hero 6 by myself. I was like, sure. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll go watch it.
I mean, in general, I just feel weird watching a movie by going to a theater by myself.
I did at first, but then after I did it a few times, like I don't go to a movie too often, but it depends on the movie. I'm like, I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like, I think I went and saw Ant-Man by myself.
it's like, what am I? I'm not gonna sit here and talk to the guy next to me. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I'm not here to make friends. You know, I'm just here to watch the damn movie.
I would say the majority.
enjoy
of
your
movies
movie, sir.
that I've
Leave
been
me
to, I've been
alone.
by myself.
Piss off! I'm just here to watch the damn movie. Shut the
You're
hell
in
up.
theater too. Shut up.
Like at my
I'm going to theater 3. Damn it! It's like it better be in there.
There's nothing
Tell the
showing in theater
projectionist.
3.
Like shit. What is this movie? It's not the right movie, you jerk.
it's like oh man, I really like that movie in theater 3. It's like there was no movie playing. It's like I know, I just imagined
awesome.
it. I
The
imagined
suspense
it. I
was
made my own
killing me.
movie. Yeah.
And I was like, when's it gonna start? Like never. All right, this is gonna come eventually.
They just find you dead. It's like, oh, we
Died of
it's
suspense.
too much suspense in his in
Too
his
much.
film. I used to watch movies all the time by myself.
Well, no,
Nowadays,
I mean, like,
I
in
don't
my
really
home-
go to the theaters as much as I
Yeah,
used
but
to.
I mean, like my private the privacy of my home. Yeah,
Well, no.
I'll watch movies.
I would go to theaters. I would usually, but I wouldn't go to midnight releases or anything by
No,
myself
no,
because
Yeah,
just
by
because
yourself,
it's
that's a little weird because that's more of a social thing.
yeah, and there's too many people. I usually go like a few days after the release of the movie, whenever like the hype has died down for a lot of the movies,
Yeah.
so I don't have to be like around people.
You mean we're not going
I
to be
just
out
hate
there
people.
covering the Star Wars midnight release?
We'll probably talk about it. There'll probably be some stories about
Well,
it.
no, I mean we'll take this table and go set up out in front of the theater, out in front of the Palladium.
I think that'd be cool, and like if we get
That'd
to like
be cool, but,
interview some
there's-
of the people, like interview like some of the people dressed up and stuff, and like, what are you excited for? It's like the movie. We're like, all right,
All right.
All right, and moving on.
So
It's like,
what are you
who's not
expecting-
excited for the movie? It's like,
what are you
you're like
expecting
one
them
guy.
to say?
Yeah.
I'm excited for the popcorn.
Yeah, like who's here to not watch the movie? It's like, what the fuck are you doing here at midnight?
I'm real excited for that overpriced soda and popcorn.
I'm
there.
real big.
All right.
I'm a real big fan of dips.
Yeah.
I heard they have crunch here, crunch dips.
Why'd you go here at midnight?
Here, hold this microphone. I'm gonna go get some dips.
Yeah. So I don't know. But these days I don't really go movies. I get it online and then I just watch it at home.
So you steal.
No.
Well, you
I
just
borrow
admitted
without
it.
paying.
What?
There.
No, I stream it through legal services online. I never said I get it.
But new
Illegally.
movies don't come out yet. All right.
Next
fine,
topic.
stop,
We need a segue. Jay said segue.
Okay.
Well, I already did one, and you guys made it crash and
Fine,
burn.
I'll do a segue. Speaking of movies,
That one movie.
Hey Arnold.
All right. Let's go.
yeah.
Speaking of the 90s,
Yeah, exactly.
there we go.
Speaking
Go back
of
in
the
time.
late '90s,
Late 90s. Nickelodeon, like you read the story, right?
Yeah,
I
Nickelodeon
saw
is-
the headline.
yeah, Nickelodeon's looking to revive some of the old cartoons and try to make them relevant to today's day and age. And Hey Arnold was one of them on that list, and I don't think Hey Arnold could be relevant anymore.
Yeah, because
Just because it was a bunch of kids, like you said, out in the inner city in New York, sitting on their stoops playing football in the streets.
Mhm.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
No, they're all watching YouTube
Yeah.
and PewDiePie.
They're on their
and shit like
phones,
that.
and
Yeah,
It's a different
So
world.
it's like,
dude.
all
They
right, let's
can't
just
do
have
that
a whole
anymore.
bunch of kids sitting there all staring at their phones, saying about 2 words to each other. There you go. Now we have a relevant cartoon.
Yeah,
you know?
that's I don't see that one. That would be a hard one to revive. But you're saying like Rugrats.
Yeah, they're looking at
like,
Rugrats. I mean,
that-
Ren and
that's
Stimpy
fine.
might be making a comeback as well.
Ren and Stimpy is probably like you were saying, like a lot of the ones that are like ahead of its time, like the ones that are like really silly and ridiculous, like the Ren and Stimpy, the Rocko's Modern Life,
Yeah,
the
Angry
Angry
Beavers. Those are
Beavers.
my favorites as a kid. I love those.
Those are really like if you look back, like those are really modern. Like they
Yeah.
knew where cartoons was gonna go.
Yeah.
Like that, like just the ridiculousness. Like I just recently watched Rick and Morty.
Okay.
All the Rick and Mortys, and it reminds me of that kind of stuff. Like that, just ridiculous. Like this, like makes no sense, but it's fun to watch.
funny. Yeah.
Like
And I think that's why stuff like Adventure Time and
Mm-hmm.
Regular Show are so successful.
I think so too.
Well,
yeah.
what makes those two shows more successful? I mean, I've brought this up several times. Was they found just the right amount of formula to get both. They have it look like it's cartoon. It's obviously a cartoon, so they have the draw of the kids. But like with like Regular Show, they have so many references to stuff that parents will know. They're like the best cassette tape in the world or best videotape in the world or whatever, that kind of stuff. Or you're like they pull out a friggin' A-Tracks tape or like
Yeah. So
and-
kids like the funny
So-
colors and the
yeah. So they're like I don't understand these references, but they're making references to like Starsky and Hutch and all that kind of stuff, like all sorts of references to like
Yeah.
old 80s stuff. And so all the adults are like, oh, I get that reference, and you're like, this is actually kind of funny. 'Cause you're like,
Yeah, like Rick and Morty, they reference like Cronenberg. Like, if you don't know, he's like a director that's like real into like freaky creatures and stuff like
Okay.
that. Like a lot of his movies have like things like that. Like I don't remember the movie he did. I think maybe The Fly or something like that. I don't know, but they reference it like, oh, we got a planet full of Cronenbergs down there, and like I'm like kids won't know what that is.
well, Rick and
But-
Morty's not a kid's show. That's on Adult Swim.
Yeah, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying like for the references.
I was like, wait a second, it's
I would
not a
say-
kid's show.
I would not want to meet the parents that would let their kids watch that show. There's some really weird stuff in there, but like references like that, like kids will never get that, but parents or like older people will get that. Yeah, so
Now,
So-
one thing I'd want to bring up too about Adventure Time is I've never actually dedicated a huge amount of time to sitting down and watching it, and I get the feeling I really should.
I've watched a few, and
I've
I
heard the
was
backstory's pretty
entertained.
good.
It's just it's one of
Yeah, I've
I'm
heard.
not one to sit down. Like I'll watch like anime and stuff like that. I will binge watch the hell out of anime because it's I like ones that are continuous stories. That's if there's a story to it, I will totally binge watch like 6 or 7 episodes in one sitting just to get story. But if it's just like random little segments and stuff like that, yeah, no, I can't spend a lot of time watching it.
yeah.
Well, like the thing I saw with Adventure Time is that it's irreverent, it's funny and just really silly. But I've also seen that it's horribly tragic.
yeah, I
in
think
the
it's,
back-
it's
like in the
it's-
background, there's just a lot of really dark themes.
Well, I think the thing is like it's a Earth, but like post nuclear war or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Like they always bring up like the mushroom wars or something like
Yeah.
that. So they think it's like a nuclear bomb, and they don't explicitly say it, of course, But like that's what all the like if you go to like the Reddit fan theories and stuff like that, there's all those theories. It's like it's like that's why what's her name is bubblegum is because like radioactive mutations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's I've heard the backstory is pretty crazy and like all the hints that they give on that kind of stuff that are never explicitly told. Of course,
I mean, yeah, if you're searching for it, there's probably all sorts of little. Weird
and the only reason I bring that up is because I've been rewatching Futurama over the past few days, and there's lots of little things in there that allude to some really dark, like not so much like world change altering themes like a nuclear war, but just for characters like Fry, like his sense of like loneliness and all that sort of stuff are really just sort of dark themes for what's supposed to be a funny TV show.
Sure.
Well, yeah, that's what makes those shows good. Like you all like. There's like probably hundreds of episodes of like the funny, weird, just random stuff. But then you get those episodes like the
Jurassic
dog,
Park and
the dog
I
one
think
or
one
like the with his parents or Leela's parents.
Yeah, I
those
think
heartfelt episodes are the ones that like make it more than
sort
just
of pull you back down to reality.
Well, I mean, when you
a
think
bit.
of it, like if you ever like watch like a Disney movie, you break it down to the very basic components. Those are like usually like real horrible stories. And you're like they're just dressed up to like, especially like the older ones. Like the newer ones, not so much, but like the older ones were like, oh my god, these are. You know, when you look at it, you're like
poisoning Snow White.
Yeah, because like the one that really made me start to think about it was I saw a video talking about like it was talking about Stockholm syndrome, and they said then they pointed to Beauty and the Beast. I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize it. And then like they also made some like I saw another video like a theory of where it's like the I think like it's like the candlestick or the clock was like betrayed or like it was like the whole thing, like it was like betrayal and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and I saw another theory about Beauty and the Beast. Well, like it was film on YouTube where he was saying like the prince. Like,
this is what I think.
The prince was like the story is like the beast before he was a beast got turned into a beast because he turned away an old witch or an old like a lady at the door, and he's like, but like if you look like at the timeline, he was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
So like he like of course you're gonna turn away a stranger. You're not gonna let a stranger into your house if you're 12
stranger
years
danger.
old. So so she turned him into a beast when he was 12 years old because he did what a normal 12-year-old should do.
Yeah.
And then like then like it goes and he's only like 18 whenever Belle gets in, so it's like even more tragic. And then like all the servants got turned into stuff.
Yeah,
but they didn't do anything.
It's like, what did they do?
So it's it's ridiculous. And like all those stories are based on like old German
like Brothers Grimm and that.
Kind of
like
stuff,
some of the Brothers Grimm like original tales for these old fairy tales are really messed up.
Well, like Cinderella, like the stepsisters to get their feet to try to fit into the glass slipper, they like cut off their toes, like and like some really dark stuff in there. And then Disney-fied them as much as they could, but still like the themes of the stories.
The cutting
was
done off
bad.
screen.
Yeah.
And you have like Dumbo and stuff like that with like the crows.
They have like a
good old fashioned racism there.
Racism.
You know?
They have like a turned over tomato cart or something. That's why there's red splotches all over the floor.
Yeah. So I mean, I think a lot of animated or a lot of kids things do that. They throw in some
because you got to make it interesting for the adults.
Yeah.
You know, because it's one of those of imagine if it were only designed for kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are you going to convince the parents to keep going to
Yeah.
because they're just like, this is crap. You know what? I don't want my kids to watch crap.
It's an hour's worth of Teletubbies. Like Teletubbies, I assume, I don't know if there's any. I'm sure there's some dark
jokes.
theories on that, but I'm sure there's not like
the big
overt,
thing was
like,
the purple one being symbolism for gay. That was the big controversy.
Like
with
he
Teletubbies.
had he was supposed to be a guy, but he had a purse or something like
or
that,
something silly,
something
and you're like
that.
really?
Well,
Yeah.
I think probably the best example for those kind of films. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know about you, Jimmy, but Fish, you said you saw it was Inside Out.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Yeah.
That was like the best example of keeping the kids entertained with bright lights, you know.
But going through some real
stuff for the
adult, like,
older audiences.
Depression and all kinds of stuff.
That was a good movie. If you
want
to see
that's
exact,
Pixar all over.
I mean, last couple of Pixar movies. I mean, that Up was like that too. I mean, you're just like, holy crap! You're like, these are actually really dark movies, but they're really entertaining. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love to see is that Pixar. Yes, they're making movies geared towards younger audiences, but they're making them so well. They're adding so much good story to them that you're just like, holy shit, they're getting really good. I mean, it's just like, please come out with more.
Please, please keep those writers around. Yeah,
but basically, what I want to get out of this is keep Iron Giant 2. Don't revive the Nickelodeon stuff. Give me more Futurama.
I could use more Future. I really like that series.
That's what I want.
See, I couldn't get into it after the reboot. Like when they first did it on Comedy Central, I watched a couple and I was just like, it just didn't feel as good anymore.
There's definitely a shift.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I think it's still worth the watch.
Sure.
I would if they were making new ones. I mean, I'm still watching old ones and laughing at like every.
Well,
joke
yeah, I
that
say
they're
we were
making.
watching earlier today.
Yeah,
and one of the next episode queued is the one dealing with his brother,
Oh.
and I know that one's really heavy.
That's another rough one.
Yeah.
See, the one cartoon that I can think of from childhood that I'd love to see revive was Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Oh yeah,
That had to have been my. If I had to say like the best cartoon ever, Ed, Edd and Eddy was my
It's such
favorite.
a relevant cartoon
It
for
was
everybody
awesome
that watched
you're
it.
like, it's technically, is in the suburbs. You're like, yes, those still exist, and so you can. It's probably, of course, it's going to be the syndrome of all the kids playing on their cell phones nowadays.
Yeah, that's.
But still,
and that's the glory. That's the beauty of it when it came out at its time.
Yeah.
Is that we
That's-
were all outside.
And that's why it did well. It's
Yeah.
like, yes,
we could totally we knew a role for a Johnny and
Yeah.
a Sarah,
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah, so reviving those, I don't see those being revived. Like, why just make something new?
Yeah.
But, like, why? Like, I could see Rugrats being remade because it's about babies, and babies won't have cell phones and stuff. Well, maybe they will. Like, maybe Angelica might have a cell phone or something. But
Here, Tommy, look at 4chan.
yeah, oh,
no.
forever unclean.
What is that?
Rugrats unrated.
Oh no! But I could see that being remade because it's about imagination and kids, and that's fine. That could be remade. Like all the ones that are like heartfelt, like and like more for like kids, I could see those being revived. But like you were saying, or like
Stuff
the
that involves-
really ridiculous stuff, like the Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
They can just
Well,
re-air
'cause
those, and those probably still be a hit.
Yeah.
those are ones that are just like they're
Just
they're-
reanimate them, touch them up a little bit.
Yeah, do their remastering.
Well, because what was weird was Ren and Stimpy wasn't for kids.
Yeah.
and that's
No.
what blew my mind is when I got a little bit older and I realized I'm like, there's uncut ones. You're like, uncut what? And you're like, oh, cursing and stuff.
Whoa,
You're like,
yeah.
whoa, this is for adults. You're like, they just
Well, even
edit
some
out
of
a whole bunch?
the old Cow and Cow and Chicken,
Yeah.
like some of the old Cartoon Network cartoons, like
They
the
had
little
some-
shorts, were not like. Looking back on them now, they're not kid cartoons.
Yeah.
Well, they had those like
Sa-
bikers.
like Satan was never wearing pants
Yep.
in the Cow and Chicken cartoon.
Yeah, and like they had like bikers that would like come into the house and like eat all the carpet.
yeah,
and they're
the
like like butch ladies, so they're
Yeah.
like playing that up like carpet.
God, there's all sorts
there's
of
like
stuff.
I
yeah.
Am Weasel and
Mhm.
IR Baboon
Yeah.
was intercut, and I mean even some of like the old Space Ghost, like Coast to Coast, and I think Cartoon Planet with Space Ghost.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to see Space Ghost, like Cartoon Planet. I loved Cartoon Planet growing up.
The ones that were ridiculous, I can see those being revived, but the ones that are more try to be real, like real life, like like we were saying,
Yeah,
Hey Arnold,
Ed, Ed and Eddie.
that I don't see that formula working
God,
now.
This is
No,
funny,
it's just
God,
not-
now I'm just like starting to remember all these old cartoons. Like one that I think it would actually could be remade really well. Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah,
I think that would be fine.
I think
They
they tried.
tried.
They tried
Well,
to remake it.
Actually, it's funny. Japanese actually made an anime based on it.
Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of.
technically, I think that was
Okay,
a
that
couple
might be
years
it.
ago. So I mean, there was more content, but it was basically Japanese.
And
And
I
it
mean-
will do.
version of
I
it,
think
so.
it will do well. I think the critics would like it because
think
it's like empowering little girls,
And
and
I-
you never see.
Well, actually, because they did make like a one episode update, which I watched it and I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm like, because they did like it was like Dance Dance Revolution and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, this is cool. Like the graphics were awesome. I'm like, oh, let's make this into a show. I'm like, this
Yeah.
was cool. It
I
looked
could see
cool.
that. Yeah,
I mean, Courage the Cowardly Dog, I think, could easily be revived as
Probably.
something.
yeah, because it's just
Dexter's
it's
Lab
another one
could
of those
be-
weird ones.
I don't know
Lab.
about Dexter's Lab. I mean, it's one of those of it. I think that ran its course because I like the old animation.
Didn't they try to remake Dexter's Lab?
They
or
changed
they
the
rebranded
animation
it?
style and then they kept it going for a while. After the animation style, I just didn't. I mean, once they changed it, I just didn't enjoy it as much as like the older ones.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of the more realistic ones would have a hard time changing into nowadays. But Dexter's Laboratory, they have like weird inventions and stuff like that. So maybe I don't know. It's just tough.
I recently saw they put Powerpuff Girls on Netflix. So
Yeah.
I might have to go back and have some nostalgia.
Samurai Jack. That was really
man,
cool.
yeah, Samurai Jack was good.
I just like on Reddit. I go through Reddit videos all the time, and they had like this one scene, like one fight scene from Samurai Jack, and it was like animated so well. It's like he's light and he's fighting the
Oh, I
darkest
remember
one.
that one. Yeah,
And I was like, oh my god, why? Like I don't remember watching Samurai Jack that much. Like I wasn't ever fully into it. I would watch it whenever it was on, or I was not doing anything else.
Because I watched a good
But
chunk.
I was like,
of it.
this is amazing. Even now.
Yeah, it was such a good cartoon. That's one that's like, a lot of people our age are like, yeah, I remember Samurai Jack. It was so cool. Definitely. I need to go back and watch it to its completion because I don't think I've seen the entire series, but I've seen a good chunk of it.
Yeah, and there was a theory that it's in the same universe as Powerpuff Girls, but in the future.
Something like that. Yeah, because it was Hanna-Barbera as well. I think all of them were.
I think a lot
Powerpuff
of them.
Girls, Dexter's Lab, all those were all different Hanna-Barbera. Or were they Hanna-Barbera or were they just Cartoon Network? I can't remember.
I don't know for sure. The Hanna-Barbera sounds right, but it was on
Don't
Cartoon.
quote me on that. I may be misremembering.
You've been quoted.
Yep,
Yeah.
we've already been quoted.
Ah.
We're on
It's
Periscope.
now on the internet
Oh,
forever.
I think my phone froze or something. That's
Yeah, it looks like it.
whatever.
Oh, well. Okay, apparently we're not on Periscope anymore.
We tried. It didn't work. But yeah. So I don't know. It seems kind of like a cash grab at times, but I could see some of the shows that they're talking about maybe working.
Maybe.
But
We'll
I
have
don't
to
know.
wait and see.
I hope
If
they
come
don't
out with
ruin
them.
it.
Is it they didn't do Are You Afraid of the Dark? Could get a revive. I think that could work.
I never watched any of the scary things. I was
So, yeah,
well,
but
I mean,
that's-
it's not
that's one of
scary
those-
by today's standards.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a
still.
genre that she can easily recreate.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, now it would probably be.
But then
easier
again, who
'cause
goes camping anymore?
Not many people.
Yeah.
Like
Not
who
many
sits around who sits around a fire?
I
telling
bet
ghost
like
stories?
just a
Some people
story.
do,
It's
but
just a
not
story
many.
of like parents taking their kids camping is enough of a horror story. Just like,
Like,
you mean there's no Wi-Fi out there?
Internet? I don't know.
No. Are you
Are you-
afraid of the?
Are you afraid of your
Are
parents?
you afraid of no reception?
Yeah.
There you go.
It
There's
sounds
our
like an
new
NBC
show.
like investigative
gosh.
series. Like, are you afraid of your parents?
Exactly. It's just like parents trying to connect with their kids. Like, no, get away.
See, that's like when you think of it though. Like if you took like kids back, like not necessarily when we were kids, like even before our generation, because our generation was kind of the first generation that started having technology when we were kids. Like before, it's like you stick a kid that age out in the woods, they may actually have a decent chance of surviving. Now you're just like they're screwed. They're like,
Yeah.
I can't look
They're
up
just
how
like-
to survive.
Hey, they got no signal.
Yeah. Like now, yeah, they'd be screwed.
They
Like,
just have
oh,
an
man.
app with a lighter on it, like trying to get warmth from it.
Like, why is it not warming me? It's
Yeah, it's
fire.
Beep beep. Oh, it's dying. My phone dies. I'm gonna die with it.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah, it's true. I mean, that's kind of one of those things that I hate saying, but it's true. It's
Well,
like,
because we have less need for those survival skills nowadays. Than
Yeah,
back then.
Yeah.
it'd
It's
have
really
to be
gonna be a
weird
pain.
situation.
Once Red Dawn or something happens.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Just nuke everything. Oh, we got foreign armies on our soil. Nuke it. Wrap it up. We
Send us
had a
all-
good run. We had a good run.
Pull the hell out
Taking
of
you down
everybody.
with me.
All right, everybody dies. All right, you nope, you can't have this.
Anything
Taking
else?
you all down with me.
Anything else we want to talk about? I know
I think probably
Yeah,
that's good for now. I think we
Yeah.
had some good conversations there.
Well, real quick.
Uh-oh.
Ashes. Rise of the Phoenix Born.
Yes. New board game that came out like a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's by a company called Plaid Hat Games. They're actually, I can't remember what city they are, but it's just north of Dallas. So it's actually
Okay.
here in Texas.
Oh, nice.
And
But it's like a deck building.
yeah, it's like kind of a deck building
well,
game.
kind of.
And
Yeah.
it's one of those of you got to really read the cards and be specific because there's like rules where it's like if you wound a character
It's
and it says
different
it
than
blocks
damaging.
damage, it's different. So no, if it says block damage, you can't block wound.
But me and Fish played it the other day. He won.
Barely. I saw one time where I was like, wait, do I win? I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Let's find out. It's
Yeah,
like, hey, I win. All right.
And there's different heroes that you can be, like, that have different cards, or if you're using the pre-built decks, they have different cards.
Yeah.
And you just
'Cause it's a big the starter set is a big set. It comes with what I think like six different decks, and then they have a seventh like hero because you get heroes per deck, and then that depends on like what abilities you have and stuff. Like we'll try to eventually make a little video talking about it. I mean there's a couple already up on YouTube, but we'll try to make a little like review or something on it.
That's all coming soon.
Yeah, it's soon.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, game like tabletop gaming and stuff like that. We really want to try to get it, but
I had a blast with it. I loved the game. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see more cards. So we start
decks.
add in more expansions and stuff. But those aren't going to. Like I think they said like every 3 months they're going to come out with more Phoenix Borns and more cards and stuff. So we'll see how that comes out.
Yeah, but yeah. So be on the lookout for that. As always, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Twitter.
But don't follow us in real life, please.
You can follow Jason only. He likes that kind of thing for some reason.
Sure. You know, I don't have very high standards.
Anyone, I'll take any stalker, any gender, whatever.
Any gender.
Just be nice. Days. Just don't be a crazy stalker.
All
please.
6 of them.
You can follow me. Genders. You know, it's like, hey, we'll talk every once in a while. Just don't kill me, please.
You know, you pass me by in the street. You know, just don't hit me with your car.
He specifically just tries to walk in front of people and just imagines that they're stalking him.
God, get away from me.
He's walking. Why are you following me? Stop following me. They try to turn you. You go. You're like, stop following me.
You turn around. There's no one there. They like stopped following you a while ago. I'm like, dang it.
Damn it. I lost my stalker.
Thank God.
I got away from him. And also review us on iTunes and Stitcher and stuff. Give us comments and feedback about the podcast, what you like, what you don't like, things of that nature.
Especially
help
if
us.
You don't like Jimmy.
Yeah,
let us know.
I will delete those before they even.
I'm an
nope, your opinion doesn't matter. Nope. You don't like me.
I pay for good reviews.
Oh no. But that's it. We'll be back next Monday with episode 82. But that's it. Thinking Outside the Pod, episode 81.
All right, later, guys.
Bye. See ya.